when holdouts become hold-ins, that gives us the sense that something's happening. What is happening with Trey Hendrickson now that he has shown up in Cincinnati? Dianna?
Not necessarily, actually.
Okay.
I know what you're saying. Where if they're showing up, then they're close.
Right.
I think there's a lot of, we'll call it public relations behind moves like that, right? Because think about what happens. We'll use the two that are the big stories right now, even three, including Micah. Look at the ones that are there, that it showed up and are holding in versus the ones that were holding out, like Trey just was doing. The cameras, the writers, the interviews, the podcasts, the shows, everyone, all the attention in Washington was on Terry when he showed up. And he continues to be that story compared to when Terry wasn't there. So you look at Trey Hendrickson, right, who I spoke to, and I've been in contact with him throughout this entire holdout, now hold in. He really did not want to be a distraction for the Bengals. He didn't, I don't think he mentally could handle being so close to the field. His house is right across from the stadium. I think the idea of just like hearing the whistles, seeing the fans was just going to be hard on him. And I also think he wanted to send a message. I'm the best player on this defense, and you need me. So I'm not going to show up. And that's kind of the old way of doing it. And now this new way, I think is helpful for what the players are looking for, which is to get paid. And so now I think Trey spent a few days away. And just to go back slightly,
yes,
they were negotiating a deal up until the night before the veterans were reporting. And there was a thought that this was getting done. And when Trey Hendrickson and his agent saw what the final contract looked like after the Bengals made 2 offers in a 24-hour period and were aggressive in trying to get this done, that contract did not look like the contract that they discussed that was expected to be in front of them, right? And so what was missing from the contract compared to those conversations? That second-year guaranteed money. Right. So we all know now that's what he's been looking for. It was not there. And that's when he took off to Jacksonville, to the Jacksonville area where his in-laws are, his family is, to train and to just get away from it. But now he's there over at practice.
So is it right to, I'm just trying to pick up what you just put down, verbal agreement to have money guaranteed in year 2, went through the business affairs, legal staff, lo and behold, poof? Are we... Because that's a story as old as Los Angeles as well, to blame it on business affairs. So,
right. Yeah, I don't know if it was like all right, let's do it, send over the paperwork, and you're popping champagne in terms of how far that went along. There just was he never even left his house thinking he was going to practice the next day.
Right.
So there was a good understanding that they were going to be close to getting this done. And then when it came down to hammering this out, it was, wait. We talked about this second year. This is what I want. I want to be treated like a premier player on this team, getting those guarantees that I saw my teammates get, that we've seen the Bengals step up and take care of over the last season or two, obviously with their quarterbacks and their receivers. So I think this one has been difficult. And Rich, when you're watching these, and you've been watching these for years now, I always like to see who has the stomach for it, because it certainly takes a certain type of characteristic to just stand there and be like, I don't want to be a Bengal anymore. And that's not what Trey's saying, right? Like, he loves Zach Taylor. He loves Mike Brown. I was talking to him about ownership, thinking, I mean, this is a guy this is a player, who's coming off a phenomenal season. You would think he would give me a little like, yeah, ownership is cheap, all the things that we hear about Cincinnati. And he is telling me that Mike Brown is probably one of the best people to live in the city of Cincinnati, right? So I don't sense any anger towards the organization. He wants to be there. It's just he also wants to be treated fairly. So when I've been talking to him, I sense this tug of war of like the man, the player, the business, the family part of a family so big for him. And I just think this isn't as easy as we've seen for other players. Look at Myles Garrett. Remember that around the Super Bowl? I mean, Myles is like walking around doing all these interviews with us, going, trade me, I hate Cleveland, like just like whatever he had to say, because Myles had the stomach for it, right? Like he had the guts to be like, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get the money I want. He always wanted to be a Brown the whole time. But he was able to perform in a way that made us all believe, oh, Miles is mad. Andrew Barry, you better write that, figure out a way to get Jimmy Haslam to write that check. And of course he got it.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.